So in this problem we have a table that contains different information from Maricopa County Community College District for fiscal year 2011-2012, and these are basic. This is just as part of a big, larger table containing salaries, and the table is much larger than this. But here we have the different steps that you can be in, and typically you can climb down the steps and grow salary as years pass by. And then over here, the horizontal step is initial placement. So if you're initially placed, you're basically going to be in this column. But then if you take 12 more credits, credit hours of master level coursework, then you can actually advance into this column here. So as long as you educate yourself more, you get to go this way, and as long as you are with the college a long time, hopefully you'll be able to go this way. So the first step is to construct a matrix that shows salaries for the 3 steps along with initial placement, and I've created that here in my calculator already. That's just a 3x2 matrix since we have 3 rows and 2 columns. Suppose next year, due to budget constraints, faculty do not advance in step but remain in the same place and are given a 1% salary increase. Find the matrix that gives the new salaries for next year. Okay, so nobody's going to advance, but all across the board, we're going to take this matrix and we're going to multiply. It doesn't matter whether you go from front or back, and multiply by 1.01 because they're going to receive 101% of their old salary. They're going to get the full salary back, but they're going to get 1% more. And so there would be our matrix. You can see this one's gone up by roughly, just over $400. And then same thing over here. So you have to scroll over. Be careful. The second you hit enter again, well, excuse me, I guess you can. The second you start typing something in, try to curse over, you'll notice that you can't actually see the end of the matrix. So just a little FYI there. The district office wonders whether it makes more financial sense to give a 1% salary increase or a flat $300 salary increase for all employees. What should they do to save the largest amount of money, but also appreciate its employees with a raise? Prove your answer mathematically by using matrices. Well, one thing we can do is just build the 2 matrices and then compare. The issue with that is then we have to compare every single value individually. Why not come up with a difference in these salaries? So what I'm proposing is, well, why don't we take A, multiply it by 1.01 to figure out what those raises are, which we already have, and find the difference between that and the A matrix. And I'm going to put this in parentheses because I'm going to add a matrix containing just 300s. Oops, 300, 300, all the way down, so that I'm going to maybe call this matrix B, so that I add 300 to the A matrix by doing what's in the parentheses here. I get my 1% increase, and then I find the difference between them. So it should be fairly simple to do, much faster than doing all the computations by hand, even though we have to create a new matrix. But now I'm going to go over to Edit, Down, select this guy, make it a 3x2, and I'm just going to put 300 all the way across the board. 300. There is a faster way to do this if you're making constants, but we'll save that for another time. 300 and 300. Okay, so what I'm proposing is that we take 1.01. Whoops, I'll clear out my screen here real quick. 1.01 times matrix A minus, so take away the A matrix upped by $300. Oops, kind of struggling here to get these button presses. Up by $300, so we'll add A and B together. Remember, B is just a constant matrix that contains all the 300s. And now when I hit enter, now I can actually see the difference. And wow, okay, so that must mean that these numbers are bigger because these are turning out positive. So actually, we can see really quickly that the 1.01 raise is actually more substantial than giving a $300 across the board raise. And as we scroll over, we notice that that's the case for every single step and every single place along the horizontal scale. So the best plan in this case, they'd save a little bit of money for each employee by just giving them a $300 raise.